it is important for us to always to meditate on how much Jesus takes over our own suffering, so that it makes it possible for him to bring us healing and to bring us strength in our suffering. But something that we must always remember is how this happens. In today's Magnificat, I was reading the reflection, and it was a reflection by Carol Houselander, who's one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite spiritual authors, and she has a beautiful reflection that reminds us of something important. It is the fact that Jesus, who we know he died for us in the cross, who suffered for us, did not, of course, do all of this because of the suffering itself, but because he fell in love with us who suffer. And because of that, he took on our suffering in everything except sin, so that he can become one of us and be able to take on our own suffering, our own weakness, our own poverty. So that is something that we can all easily understand, because whenever we love someone, we know that their suffering becomes our suffering. When someone that we love becomes sick, or someone that we love is going through any type of difficulties, when someone that we love has anything that is causing them suffering, that causes us suffering also. And it's not their suffering that we are attracted to, of course, it is the person. And because they are suffering in this matter, we grow closer to them, and we want to be there for them as much as possible. Well, we must remember that Jesus did that and does that for each and every one out of his love for all of us. So he, for example, was moved with pity at the leper that we see in today's gospel, and is moved with pity at all of our own sufferings, because he knows exactly what it is to suffer, and he does so because he loves each and every one of us, and he is not going to let us suffer alone as long as we let him. And we have to be like this leper, who have to constantly tell him, if you wish, you can make me clean. Because we know that he does wish. He does wish to give us the strength, the healing, if not physical, but at least spiritual, to undergo any type of our suffering that we are going through. And he also wishes to help, to invite us to take our suffering and unite it with his suffering, so that we can become one in this. This is not the only time I'm going to explain this to you, but we're starting a big campaign that is going to be inaugurated on the feast day of Our Lady of Lourdes on February 11th, which is the patroness of the sick. And we're starting a campaign around the whole archdiocese to ask for all who are sick and the elderly and the homebound to take on a mission, like a spiritual army, to pray for vocations and to pray for priests. Because throughout the history of the church, any time that there was an urgent need for anything, the first people that they would always go to would be to hospitals. Because it is known that the prayer of the infirm, the suffering, is so powerful that they become the most powerful intercessors. So we are going to have this whole campaign throughout the archdiocese, which surely is going to bring about many graces and miracles, and it's something that we are all going to take part of. And it is all possible because of this love affair between God and ourselves, between Jesus and us, that makes this suffering, like the suffering of the leper and the suffering of Christ on the cross, to become one. So we are all part of this, always knowing that he loves us in our suffering. He loves those, especially that are suffering the most. And he is not in love with our suffering, but in love with each and every one of us. God bless you.